Hey, it's Chris. An accessory for your desk that's useful and that looks good, that's great all on its own. But as soon as there's a hidden feature that's involved, that's when things go to the next level. And I've got several things to share with you just like that today, which will all be linked up down in the description. So this desk mat is not just a desk mat. I've shown it in a few videos now without mentioning what it was, and I've had a ton of comments with people asking, what is that? Where can I get it? What's the brand? Well, this is the Alti wireless charging desk mat. And you can see on the side, it's got a detachable magnetic strip, which adds in some wireless charging for your AirPods and your iPhone. And I just have to say, my desk seems way less cluttered this way than when I'm using a stand. And I absolutely love the built-in MagSafe because my phone doesn't just lay there. It's more cemented in place with the magnets, so it's not gonna get accidentally bumped or anything. And it's just really convenient to glance down and see the screen. But here's the hidden superpower. You can lift up the top of the mat to store some paper, like sticky notes or a printout of some sort, maybe a calendar, and that's just brilliant. Nobody wants a bunch of paper scattered all over the desk, and still, every now and then we have to deal with paper, but to be able to store it away, out of the way, as long as you don't forget about it, that's just cool. And if all of that wasn't unique enough all on its own, this mat is also reversible. So if you want the vegan leather side, you can have that. Or if you want the warmer felt for like in the wintertime, you can have that. So yeah, I think it's safe to say this thing has been a major upgrade, way more than I expected it to be for just being a desk mat. And I should mention too, if you love discovering new accessories like this, you should definitely check out our newsletter, the Daily Tech newsletter, because that's what it is, app and accessory discovery. It comes out on Fridays. I'll link it up down in the description. Now for years, like many of you, I've relied on 12 South's Curve monitor stand. It's been a reliable staple of many of our desk setups over the years, which is why I practically flipped out when 12 South released the Curve Flex, which has the same nice looks of the original Curve, but it also adds in some flexibility so you can actually adjust the height. So you can actually elevate your MacBook up to 22 inches high off the desk. And what I've been loving is I've got this set up next to my studio display right now, and it's made all the difference in the world to have my 14-inch MacBook screen at eye level. Finally, I can have it lined up right in the middle of where I've got my external display. And I've also discovered that makes hiding the Thunderbolt cord, which connects my MacBook to the monitor, way easier to hide. So I've got a much less cluttered look now. So you got the cool looks with this floaty stand and it's adjustable, but here comes the superpower. Now that the Curve is flexible, it's adjustable, it's also portable because you can fold this thing flat now and stash it in the included carry case, which means you can take it with you for the ultimate portable setup. And I feel like I'm already gonna be bordering on overusing the word brilliant in this video, but I feel like this thing is brilliant because now that I've had it on the desk, this is the test. I don't wanna be without it. That's how I know it's so good. And you know what else would make your elevated MacBook look really great? That would be some Daily Tech wallpaper packs. We got a bunch, I'll link them up down below so you can check those out as well. Now, sometimes you're sitting there at your desk and it's hot, especially in the summertime, and you're like, I wish I had a fan. But nobody wants to have a fan on their desk all the time because fans don't look good. No one's featuring them in their desk setups. Well, that was until the Venti fan came along. So this thing's kind of like a transformer. It lifts up to a surprisingly tall height, and then when you want to, it folds back down out of the way so you don't have to see it. As a fan, it's got 4 different speeds. It oscillates, so it turns. You can get that airflow moving around. But it's also got a light, and it's got 3 brightness settings there. It's a nice warm light. Although I do have to tell you, I wish it could get brighter than it actually does. So if you're primarily looking for a new desk light, then maybe stick around to the next item. But there's a great little remote that's fun to use, stashes out of the way. But the hidden superpower here is that it's portable and it actually doubles as a power bank. So you could grab this, pack it up in the included carrying case, and then go charge your phone at the beach or something. It's a pretty cool thing. It's actually a former Kickstarter project, and I like that not everybody has this laying around. It's very unique. Now, those are the desk accessories that I've actually upgraded my own setup with, but just to make sure that you get the absolute most value out of this video that you possibly can, I wanna take a few minutes and just highlight some of the great accessories that we featured in our newsletter over the last several weeks. Starting with an actual desk, maybe the ultimate desk, actually, the Lumina desk. Now, this is a desk that actually has a built-in always-on ambient display that passively feeds you information. So it can display task lists, social feeds, it can show the time or messages or your calendar. And on top of that, it also has wireless charging built right in, along with what looks like some really excellent cable management. So it's height adjustable just like every other standing desk out there. And this is definitely something that can set your desk setup apart. Will it make you more productive? That I don't know about. It could end up being more distracting. But still, this is a desk lamp, but it's no ordinary desk lamp. This is the canvas lamp, and it's just too cool not to mention. Its hidden superpower is that it has a phone holder built in, so it doubles as a desktop camera setup. That means whether you want to film yourself and be well lit, or whether you want to film something on your desk, like maybe you're going to do a time-lapse drawing or something, you can easily do either of those things. And it's kind of meant to save you from having to mess with a tripod mount and a separate light. And unlike both of those things, you can actually leave this sitting on your desk all the time. And it's gonna look good. You're not gonna regret it there. You know, you have that convenience, but it's also usable as a light as well. I mean, it's a pretty cool product. I also wanna bring your attention to the Insta360 Link, which is an AI-powered 4K webcam that can actually physically rotate and move around to track you versus just cropping in with software like Apple's Center Stage. Now this thing's pretty feature-packed. It's got gesture control, it's got a big HDR-capable sensor. If you hold items up to the camera, it'll actually focus on them. And then it can also look down. It'll point down to show what's on your desk as well. And if all that's not enough, you might like the built-in noise cancellation, and there's also some software controls. So if you want to sit there and manually adjust things like brightness and exposure, you can actually do that. Now, one cool physically little accessory that actually is a big upgrade, even though you're never going to see it, is Transcend's Jet Drive Lite, which will let you upgrade your MacBook storage by up to 1 terabyte by simply inserting the Jet Drive into your card reader. So when you do that, you're gonna get fast and smooth transfer speeds, and it's not gonna stick out the side of your MacBook, so it'll actually blend in perfectly. And then what I like about it is that it actually gets a lot of 5-star reviews on Amazon, so that means it's probably well worth checking out. Because there's nothing like having internal storage, but we all know that upgrading your storage through Apple is very expensive, and no one likes to lug around external drives if they don't have to. This is a pretty slick solution. The last one I want to share with you here is kind of a fun one. It's the Tidbit retro style display that lets you keep up with things that you care about without having to pick up your phone every other second. So it's got a fun animated display that can act like a clock or can show you stock prices or even just show you some fun pixelated versions of your pictures. And there's actually a whole app store of apps that you can load up on this thing, and you can control it all with your phone, of course. So those are some of the fun things that we've covered on the newsletter recently. If you want to discover more things like that, you don't want to miss out, get signed up. The link is down in the description. Also check out our podcast, the Daily Tech Podcast, where we kind of talk about the Apple news and just life inside the Apple ecosystem from kind of a different perspective. And I'll catch you in the next video. Later.